A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
This Thanksgiving, Butterball wants you to really connect. Let's get back to laughing around the table, sharing stories, and making memories. Let's talk like we used to. We'll help with the turkey so you can enjoy being together. Visit Butterball.com for turkey tips.
Ask me, ask Iliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them, we'll read them, then we'll give you answers. You know it, I've got it. I've got the answer, the answer. You ask me, I'll tell you anything. Welcome to a looped live episode of Ask Iliza Anything, the podcast where we give you the answers to the questions that you submitted. Not all of the questions, because some of them are really bad. Some of them are really too personal, and some of them I've answered before. But we're here to help people not just get through life, but I guess get through this quarantine. With me, as always, is my stalwart, neon white companion, Emily Higgins.
Yes, and you're submitting your questions live. So this is not like pre-done. People can ask right to your face and then provide much needed context.
Which is why Emily is here to cull from the very best, picking only the ripest of questions, and I will juice them for your consumption. Today, we're doing a live episode. We love having the kick-its. Maybe some of the ham swirls are in there, and we're here. Do you ask me anything?
What's a ham swirl?
Oh, it's from Don't Panic Pantry. It's the fan group from Don't Panic Pantry. And I do have
song. When you do Don't Panic Pantry, I'm finishing up my work for the day.
Okay, you don't have to say it with your voice shaking. Like, I'm just getting into a warm bath to warm my bones, working my fingers to the bone from the comfort of my own home. You squirreled away. You snuck away. You couldn't come over because of quarantine, and now you can, and you're like, I gotta get home, and I let you. I don't make you come over anymore.
I get more work done here.
So loud.
I
yelling
yell at you.
I don't care. Just yell. You really can do your job remotely, and that's a goddamn shame.
We're helping the earth.
Sure. By each driving cars older than one of us.
And driving less. Okay.
Don't forget to wear a mask. Get those questions on. You don't need to wear a mask right now because chances are you're alone driving in your car to a job. What?
You're watching us in your home. Don't drive.
That's right. It's live. And that's right. I did my makeup. Let's get to the hard-hitting questions. Yeah, I set up. Okay. You're not supposed to say you set up a ring light. People are supposed to think she's a celebrity. There's a light that follows her.
Oh, okay. Today, this is from Christine Burgett. Today is my dog Freya's Gotcha Day. Did you ever celebrate Blanche's Gotcha Day, and will you celebrate Tianfu's? If so, how? I sang Happy Gotcha Day to her when I woke up and got her a special cookie with peanut butter filling to give to her later.
Okay, I'm sure the dog totally knew what was going on. Is it Gotcha Day like the day that I gotcha eating dead worms? Gotcha growling.
The day you adopted her, yeah.
Okay. No, I used to just celebrate Blanche's birthday with mine. But the truth is, every day is kind of like that dog's birthday. Like Tianfu at any moment is sitting in one of 12 beds. So there's no gotcha day for her. But that doesn't mean that I can't sing to her all the time. Our newest hit is me just yelling Tino Chino at her while she just stares at me. Tino Chino.
Somebody did ask, I think they want to see her at some point. So just keep that in mind. We don't need to get her right now.
She's out on a walk for her third poop of the day.
Is she actually pooping every time?
No, it's an opportunity to poop. I mean, what human wouldn't want that? Like a day where someone's like, you know what, we're just going to give you a break. You can take a dump. You can smell some flowers. You can get your email, which is like when dogs smell pee, that's them getting their mail. So there's no gotcha day for her because that would require me memorizing another sort of quasi birth date. And I already am not clear when Emily's birthday is.
Even though it's the same month as yours.
Every year?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll have a gotcha day for you. This is when I gotcha. Or gotcha, you forgot my birthday.
Tricked.
I always get you a dope gift, and you've gotten me dope gifts. And
this was not a.
Here's a piece of advice, folks.
You.
Don't give your assistant money, because then every year they're going to want that. And if you get them a gift that doesn't equal that dollar amount, it looks like you were chintzy about it and you cheated them. Like, I gave you a bunch of cash one year, and then I think I got you a sweatshirt the next year, and I always felt really bad. Like, you were going to be like, what? This sweatshirt.
It's a nice sweatshirt.
All right. Kick it.
It's a nice sweatshirt. The mailman just left an erotic thriller at my door. FYI.
That sounds like a podcast.
Neil of Forsberg says, I struggle with being assertive. What is your advice on overcoming insecurities? Now, we've answered variations
get over
of
it.
this.
Fucking look you in the eye.
We've answered variations, but what's your kind of just like some easy tips?
I don't know, because I don't struggle with it. It comes quite naturally to me. I think we all have our limits, and everybody has their BS threshold. And I actually don't, I'm not particularly assertive. I just, I'm a strong person, but I don't like to make other people uncomfortable. I think it's a female quality. And I think you'd be surprised. I think there are times in your life where you are, and then there are times that you aren't. So I would give yourself a break. And I'm sure if someone was like choking you, you wouldn't be like, okay, I don't, just let me know when I'm dead. I think you stand up for yourself when necessary. So I think we also, as women in this third wave feminism, we're like, stand up for yourself, kick him in the dick, tell these other bitches to sit down and take what's yours. And it's like, well, life is a little bit more nuanced than that. So don't adhere to the battle cries of others. If you want to be more assertive, simply do it. Simply do it. Draw your lines. And you'd be surprised, most people kowtow when you say you want something.
So fake it till you make it.
We're all imposters. I am not a podcast host. I'm a stand-up comic seeking alternate sources of outlets for entertainment.
Okay.
But yeah, but I don't know. You don't want to be too assertive. You don't want to die on hills that don't matter. I say pick your battles. That way when you pick them, people are like, oh, this must mean something.
Right. I think that is important.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool validation. Yes,
I agree.
Also. You pick your battles conservatively.
With you?
I push back on a lot of things because I think you need to come out of your comfort zone. Everything scares you. You don't want to do anything. And I'm like, come on. The thing for tomorrow. I'm luring you out of the house with promise of something fun.
Let me tell the chat. You were like, hey, on Tuesday,
Emily,
we're going to go.
If you can't read and do this, because people at home listen to me, are going to hear this episode, and it's just you like, concur, I sleep. So either we'll get someone else to read them, because this is not good content.
They love it.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. I know being thankful is on everyone's minds, and with thankfulness comes gratitude, a concept that honestly really bothers me. I'm tired of thanking everyone else. You know who deserves a thank you? Me. You deserve a thank you. When's the last time you thanked yourself? Sometimes it's hard to remind ourselves that we are doing the absolute best we can. So here I am reminding you to send some thanks to the people in your life, but mostly send some thanks to yourself. And a great way to do that is with therapy. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and it's suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire and you get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time, no additional charge. You don't have to travel anywhere. They take the hassle out of finding that perfect therapist. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Iliza today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Iliza. Fall has fallen. Winter is on its way. The days are shorter. But just because, they feel shorter. And just because the days feel shorter doesn't mean your to-do list gets any shorter. You still have to power through your busy days. And a great way to do that is with nutritious food from Factor's no prep, no mess meals. At the end of a short day in the fall or the winter, the last thing you want to do is have to cook. Factor has got you covered from breakfast, snacks, dinner, anything in between. Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled, like their chicken Florentine with spinach and garlic chili cauliflower. You bet That's what I want to make myself at the end of a day where I am exhausted and my husband isn't home. Whether you like routine or you enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add on, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. And because Factor meals are chef prepared and dietitian approved, you're going to love not only Factor's meals taste, but also how they support your goals, even if your goal was just making yourself dinner. Head to factormeals.com/Iliza50 and use code Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code Iliza50 at factormeals.com/Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. The holidays are here. And for a lot of us, the holidays mean decorating, hosting, celebrating. For me, it means a lot of traveling, and nothing feels better year-round, but especially during the cozy holidays, than a restful night's sleep in soft, luxurious sheets. Boll & Branch's signature sheets are made with the finest 100% organic cotton, and they get softer with every single wash. You already know that I got Boll & Branch this summer when I needed breathable sheets to sleep in, but this holiday season, I'm actually gifting some of my friends and family Boll & Branch's Ultimate Softness Bundle. I get to choose a signature hem sheet set in any color, a signature hem pillow set, and a waffle bed blanket. And they're all getting juniper because I think it's a classy color. This way you know you have something nice to sleep on when you visit. It's the perfect gift for you and them. Gift you and your loved ones a better night's sleep with Boll & Branch. And right now is their best offer of the entire year. For 25% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets, head to bollandbranch.com/Iliza. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Iliza for 25% off. Limited time only. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
You said on Tuesday.
They love me. Everyone loves me.
I'm looking at you right now. You're here. On Tuesday, come over. We're going on a half field trip. And I was like, okay, in between your meetings. And you were like, no, wait. So then you were like, it's Friday and it's a full field trip. And I was like, what is it? You were like, I can't tell you
because it's a surprise. And it's only work because it involves you with me. But you don't have to drive. You don't have to do anything. So it's only work because I'm your boss. But it's all fun. You don't have to do anything other than try to fucking enjoy your life.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. In a minute, I'm going to uninvite you. In a minute, I'm going to make you just drive. And it will be an all work field trip. And I will not give you the day off. And everyone knows you don't care about this country.
You have
anyway.
to give me the day off.
I don't know about who are you going to take it up with? HR? Tianfu?
Yeah. I'm HR.
I always give you everything you want. Now read the goddamn questions.
Lily R. Eliza, how would you deal with a coworker who's super competitive? It seems like everything she does is in response to something I'm doing, but one-upped. It's exhausting dealing with her. I try to stay in my lane and mind my own business. Is that enough, you think? Or would you recommend being more proactive in dealing with her?
I don't know what you do. And also dealing with her makes it sound like you're going to murder her. I think I personally would find it delicious. I love to quietly hate someone. Oh my God. There was this girl in one of my college classes who, like anything I would say, she'd always be like, piggybacking off of that. And then she'd use it to like elevate her own question. And I didn't like it, but I also was like, who cares? This is a bullshit class. And I enjoyed the chuckle. If you really want to make a meal of it, share that fact with a friend at work. And then the two of you get to exchange delicious side glances at each other every time that girl like brown noses or like tries to one up. Also, is that girl beating you? Because you might want to go faster in your lane. I don't know what you do, but like if it's performance based and she's using you as her motivation, maybe you need to kick it up a notch.
Some people though are just
unless you're like
one-uppers.
a nurse and it's like, look, she only lost 12 patients today. I lost 13. It's really just horrific either way.
I think some people are just one-uppers.
Or she could be really insecure and I would take it as a compliment. If she sees you as the one to beat, just try to limit your engagement with her. But ask her, well, this is live. What do you do for a living? You find out and then you come back to this question.
Okay, I'll find out. Tell us what you're doing. Okay. Diane Lamb asks, what about someone who is new at work and wants to take over and it's not her position to do so?
You know what? Fortune favors the bold, and the person who tries the hardest, it's always like the incoming like newcomer that's like, I got some bold ideas. this thing where it's like it's not their position. I don't know because I don't know what you do or what she does. And there's always that version where like corporate is like, wow, she's a go-getter. She had some bold ideas. Listen, the sooner everyone realizes that with the exception of like physics and subsequently math, there's really no rules, the sooner you'll be free from the confines of regulations. I understand that I work in stand-up and comedy and entertainment, and it's like the Wild West, especially now with like all the online stuff. But, you know, people put these systems in place. They're like, well, the network says you've got to do this until somebody doesn't, until somebody walks in an idea and doesn't have to develop, or somebody walks in an idea and they don't have to do the pilot first. So even though I always have to adhere to the rules, I really, and Emily can attest to this, live by the idea that rules don't apply to me and I can go around it somehow. And live like that. You can still do the rules, but what if you could succeed without doing everything everyone says? Maybe it is her place. Maybe it will become her place to do so. Now, if you're the regional manager and she's a sweater folder, yeah, she's got a bit of a Candide complex going on. She needs to like take it easy. But that's my answer.
Okay. Well, the other woman who was working with the one-upper, she's a writer in a technical space. So it's a writer. There's other people involved.
I don't know.
So it is creative to an extent, and she's being one-upped.
Don't
I think
let
the
her.
advice remains the same.
Eat or be eaten. Eat or be
Or
eaten.
just
Let her
fall
do
off
it.
your back.
Yeah, you got to make it. If you're going to pay attention to it, either use it to motivate you, or just you got to put on your horse blinders and go have a sugar cube. Some people are just not competitive by nature, but this girl sees you as competition. You take it as a compliment and now rub her fucking face in it. Unless that girl's also listening to the podcast, in which case you guys take off your shirts and fight it out. Kick it. There is one fly flying up. Of course, there's one fat fucking fly zipping around my head.
Valerie Nakarati says, what are your go-to dance moves? Do you have a go-to?
No, I'm not a wedding DJ.
I do this.
I do a lot of body rolls. Twerking
You do
comes
like a body
naturally.
roll.
I do like a body roll. Twerking comes naturally. The older I get, the less chances I have to dance. I have a long torso. So a lot of serpent-like motions. Maybe a little kitten paw. I do a lot of this, a lot of kitten paw.
You do a lot of paws. Yeah,
I think it's so silly. Because look, either keep it to yourself, be the white woman swaying, or like bust out some moves. In which case, you got to watch a lot of TikTok videos to figure that one out. I don't have the idea of having a go-to move. I don't assume anyone cares how I dance. So, and usually at a wedding, they'll just tell you how to dance.
I don't believe in dancing.
Why make a statement like that?
Because I don't like it. Marcella
Okay, but hold on.
Tran.
It's not like Footloose. Like you're not like deeply Mormon.
No, but I would love to live in that town. No one's allowed to dance.
You're like, then I live in a movie and then I take over. Remember that insane workout dance sequence with Kevin Bacon where he's like spinning. You haven't seen the movie, have you?
In that, yeah, I've seen
in that
it.
like
He's
barn.
In a barn, yeah.
And for the first like 4 minutes, you're like, I could do this. And then you're like, oh, it's like an Olympic routine. No one can do that.
And then they do the car chicken. I seen it. I know.
Okay.
Hi, Eliza and Emily. This is from Marcella
just do me a favor.
Turan.
Just leave and go drink like a cup of coffee and come back. I couldn't dance. I'm passing away. Oh my God. Couldn't even do
I'm ready to go.
Zip it up. Kick it.
No, this was brought to, okay. Marcella Turan. Hi, Eliza and Emily. This is so cool. Question. Any advice on how to negotiate a significant lower rent with my landlord? I have a therapy center for children with special needs. If he doesn't, I have to close. So that's a lot.
That's not a fun question. What? I don't know. Emily pays rent and she lives in a hovel.
That's true. It depends where you live. I mean, all you could do is ask and present it. I think people are of two schools of thought that you either go so aggressive at the start to show you're not to be messed with. I would go nice and just hope that the other person is not mean?
Is it okay? But this speaks to like the no rules thing, because sadly, my first thought was, is that a thing? But I guess it could be a thing. Are there like tax breaks if you do like altruistic jobs like that? And also, here's the thing to remember. If you negotiate a lower rate, just know he's going to be looking at everything you buy, every package you get, every grocery. If you get a new car, and he's going to be like, how come you can afford that, not this?
Yeah.
Also, he will say to you probably, that's not my problem. Like, you chose to live here. So maybe there's some sort of quid pro quo. Like, maybe his kids are, did you say special needs? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know what someone who doesn't have special need kid. I'm just trying to think of like, maybe you could offer a discount rate to people in the building if they have special needs. It's a very niche thing. You might just want to go with the best of hopes and hope, but also the guy's got to, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I don't know. He's got to make a living. And I guess the question is, if somebody came to you.
Oh, the therapy center is not her home, but she's trying to get just, I guess, from a landlord, a rate. So it's not a home. It's a business space.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant your apartment and then you have the business elsewhere.
I think I understood that as well. So it's a business space that she would like a break on.
Can't you?
I think that you talk to him.
Yeah, you can negotiate that. Sorry. I thought this was like everybody in the apartment pays $2,000 a month.
I did
whatever.
too, for some reason.
Maybe it's the way you read it.
It might be.
Everything's negotiable. And maybe you can promise a price increase after X amount if you're profitable. Maybe look into something like that. Try to appeal to a better nature. Also, if the guy's a dick, he's not going to care. We have that, my husband works in restaurant spaces and restaurants, and the people, even with restaurants collapsing, people are like, fuck you, give me $1 million key money. And you're like, okay, but nobody can afford this space and it's going to be a shitty restaurant that's going to be gone in 3 months. They're like, we don't care.
Yeah.
So some people are dicks. Most people in real estate are probably dicks. Bake him some cookies. Yeah. What is that noise, Emily?
There's a man outside that sells fruit, so he's honking his fruit horn.
No, I can't get mad at that. Go. You should eat fruit, period. And B, you should buy some fruit from him.
Okay. I'm busy right now. Okay. Sabrina Hersom, question. Are you nervous about flying after not
Female privileged comic shames immigrant fruit seller for merely trying to live. Quote, I could hear his horn. It's just not good for sound quality.
I don't know. At least it's not the La Cucaracha fruit truck. It's just the little man with his cart. So.
Why anyone would think a song about a cockroach is good for beckoning people to come consume and purchase and consume food? The Black Plague.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know. Okay. Sabrina Hersom, are you nervous about flying after not flying for the longest time?
She's running away from me. I can't pick her up.
You're trying to go get tofu?
No, I'm not. If anything, no. I'm not. It'll be a little bit weird. I'm not going to maybe not bring the dog the first time, but what's there to be nervous about other than you go to get on the plane, they're like, by the way, you have to stay here because we're in like a mandatory lockdown everywhere. No. I wear a mask anyway. So, it's not like before I was like, oh, let me lick my seat clean and get comfortable on this person's lap. So I think it'll be a little cold, a little weird, but such as airline travel. I also cannot stay awake on a plane, so I won't be awake for anything weird, any weird airline transgressions, misgivings, what have you.
Yeah, they're already like filling up, but there were people that were already super cautious. I feel like Jen Kirkman already had her own wet wipes. People, you deal with it.
I always do that. So you deal with it, and it just becomes the new normal. We've all settled into this weird dystopian, tepid, warmed over reheat of an existence. Kick it!
Liz Musel asks, have you ever done a long distance relationship? My boyfriend just got deployed for the next 10 months, and I'm trying to figure out how to keep things light and fun. Love this pod and all these party goblins.
First of all, thank you for supporting someone in the military, and thank him for his service. I have done a long distance relationship, and it's not the same. Having someone in the military is not the same as a long distance relationship. Long distance relationship is like, oh, you could fly to see each other. And in this quarantine, nobody can see each other. But let's say all things were normal.
Right.
A big part of your concern is going to be keeping that person. I mean, that's a lot. Being in the military, I don't know where they're being deployed to. it means a lot. And I can say this just from doing military tours and USO tours, the interaction, being kept up to date, because people go overseas and they feel like we forget about them. And I say that having never dated someone in the military, but just the feedback that I get from soldiers. So care packages, sending him emails, calling, always kind of letting him know that he's on your mind, asking about his day, just reminding him like, hey, someone's waiting for you at home. I'm here. Like you're in my mind. We're counting down. You're in my thoughts. I get goosebumps thinking about it. And it can be a challenge to make him like sweet little gifts and ask him about his day. I'm just thinking of things that you could do for him. And then like sexual texts, right, Emily?
Mm-hmm.
Make it spicy. Keep it spicy.
Yeah, as long as you're communicating, I think that's carving out the time to make sure that you do talk. 'Cause it's easy to be like, oh, I'm tired today. I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's any relationship really. So maybe just at the beginning, front load it with like a lot of communication. So he's like, Jesus, Sheila, give it a rest. And that would be my answer, is just like thinking of like special little things I could do. But don't do them too often because then I'll take it for granted.
Yeah.
So. And no matter what you do, every time you talk, be like, hey, Shwan, I'm definitely not cheating on you. Always say it like that. Definitely not cheating on you.
There was a Reddit where this man was like, I'm worried because I invited my girlfriend's friend over to look at rings. We were going to go ring shopping for my girlfriend. And then my girlfriend texts me and says she's with that friend. Right? But the friend is with him secretly looking at rings.
Oh.
So everybody's like, oh my God, she's cheating, break up with her. And so he talks to her, and an update got posted like yesterday or today. She was looking at pet snakes for him because he loves snakes.
Oh my God, it's like the gift of the Magi.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was a wedding ring and a snake, and both surprises are now ruined because he was like, look, I got to be up front. Like, your friend was with me because I was ring shopping. And she was like, I got to be up front. I told you I was scared of snakes, but I went and hung out with some, and I'm going to bring you one.
I got to be up front. Your fucking metal hobby. I went and engaged. I also like what Aletta is like, I want to spend my life with you. She's like, I got you a snake, which I think says a lot more about him. I understand that, Emily. I think it says a lot more about, also don't marry the guy with the snake. Man. Yeah, but also like, you know what? Let's remove this antiquated notion of matrimony. The woman should have input in the ring. You're not, unless you're like 20 and you're like, I'm just going to give her something. She's going to like it because she doesn't have any taste. Go ring shopping together. Get an idea. It shouldn't be like, I like it because he picked it. He doesn't fucking know or care. Yeah. You're going to end up with like a pear cut pink quartz on yellow gold. Watch me get, you shamed my wedding ring. So
if you like it, you like it.
Yeah, you probably don't though. Quit being just so grateful that a man gave you anything. Make your own rules. You don't have to be a jerk about it, but you set those standards. I told my husband, I was like, look, at the time I was like 35 or 36. I was like, I'm not some like 19-year-old girl that's like never left the farm. We got to go looking together because you have no taste and I need some input here. And we did. And we picked a beautiful ring. I didn't know when he would give it to me. That's the fun part of it. But this thing was like, surprise, I'm going to change your life. And here's a Cracker Jack ring. Here you go.
I knew when he was going to give it to you.
It's a chocolate diamond, otherwise known as just not a clear diamond that they marketed as chocolate to you. It's brown stone. Kick it. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a sad question, a heavy question, and I'm going to preface by saying I'm asking you.
By the way,
because I
hope everybody's playing a drinking game at home where they drink every time I touch my hair because I just got it straightened and I can't stop touching it.
They're talking in the chat about the drinking game.
Well,
and they were like, "Should we drink when she says kick it?" And I replied and said, "Please, nobody die of alcohol poisoning."
You definitely, and that blood will not be on my hands, which will subsequently be in my hair because I can't stop touching it. Okay, what were you saying?
Okay, so I'm going to ask you this heavy question. Preface it by saying, when my grandma died, you were very kind to me. And so I think that you may have some insight on this. I think that this is up your alley. Okay.
Okay.
So Allie Nicolini
the question
says,
is, were you kind to me when your grandma died?
No. She says, any advice on how to come to terms with the fact that my really young grandma could die on our watch because of a horrible degenerative disease. She starts suffocating out of the blue. It's up to whoever is with her to save her. She is signed a DNR, so if the ambulance gets there too late, it would be up to us to tell them not to reanimate her.
This
Thank
is
you. Sorry
above
for
my
the sad
pay
question.
grade.
Which is why I prefaced by saying, look, this is
Wait.
a girl who's saying,
Wait, reanimate?
that's what it says.
Grandma's like tied to strings. They're like, do it again.
But she said they can't like afford a home care nurse, and nobody really wants to be in the room with grandma because no one wants to be the one that's there when it happens.
It's like musical chairs, but with death, but with life. Like, and when the life stops, are you with grandma?
Yeah. So I just
What's
feel
the
like
question?
you can be a comforting. So she's just asking, you know, how do I, any advice on how to come to terms with this?
Listen. It's also kind of where you're like my really young grandma. Like she was only 25. She was so hot and young.
Maybe she's like 60. You know?
Maybe you guys
50.
Look.
See as a grandma.
Okay, I don't care. So even though, you know, I've lost grandparents, I have not lost a parent. Other than my dog, which was horrible. Like my aunt died, my uncle died, you know, but it's not the same as, you know, being older and losing your grandma or something like that. And I'm not trying to minimize it or make it anything that it isn't or is, but I will say this. Mm-hmm. Think about your grandma for a second. Do you want her to die alone? Like that will be horrific and traumatizing for you, but the dignity of not having to die by yourself, you know, and the comfort of just like the fact that she knows that she could suffocate at any time and her family is like, oh, we don't want to be in the room with you. So she's going to feel extra alone as she heads to the end of her life. It's a stand-up adult thing. Maybe you'll be in the room, maybe you don't, but don't not spend time with her.
Yeah.
Because how would you feel?
She's 63.
That is really young. That's a hot young grandma.
Mm-hmm.
And that's awful. But don't put yourself aside for a second. You will get through it. She will not. And that's going to be really sad if people weren't with her just because they didn't want to deal with how uncomfortable it would be. Like, we love you so much that we don't want to be around when you die. It's like, it's her last.
Well, and the fact like she signed the DNR, like you are doing right by her. You are making sure that her wishes are fulfilled. And
because it's weird, because if somebody starts to die, your first thought is, okay, CPR, try to help or whatever. But I don't know if that, like, there's do not resuscitate, but what if she isn't gone? Should you?
I think it's what she had said was that like if the person keels over, like you're not supposed to start doing like chest compression. You're not supposed to intervene. I
think you just be there.
Mm-hmm.
And you probably do it anyway and be like, look, I don't know the medical thing, but don't think about that as much as, and let's not talk about this anymore because this is very sad and it's a fun podcast. Think about how selfish it is to be like, I don't want to be around her in case she dies. And this woman's probably scared and she shouldn't have to be alone if she can help it. So like every night you're like, we're going to Golden Corral. You can't come because we don't want you to die. Fingers crossed. Golden Corral.
Okay.
A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
So finally, fall is here. I have been looking forward to it. I have had a hard year in a good way. You know, like I had a baby. I have been on a nonstop tour, nonstop traveling, and it's been hot. So I'm looking forward to, of course, pumpkin spice, everything, cooler weather, and slipping into a cozy sweater from Quince. I've talked about Quince before. Quince has beautiful leather jackets, cotton cardigans, soft denim, and so much more. All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Dressing expensive doesn't have to be expensive. Their clothing is beautiful, it's durable, it stands the test of time, and it's what I like to call a capsule wardrobe. I got an Italian wool cocoon coat. That's one of those, you know, it's got like a European collar and it covers my butt so I can walk around New York City and not be chilly. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. Get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/Iliza for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Iliza to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Iliza.
Dax asks, I only have one question, Eliza. TikTok, why? You have very recently become very involved in TikTok. Does everybody watching even
First of
know
all,
that you're now a TikToker?
I don't appreciate the tone you gave to that.
I think it's very funny.
No, it's TikTok. Why? Not TikTok. Why? Here's the thing. I am happy to admit when I'm wrong. I did think TikTok was for deeply stupid people, which it is. It is.
You were very anti.
I was very anti because my experience with it, with the little bit that I'd watched, is like, people trying to be sexy. It's a lot of posturing, which is what social media is. But every once in a while I watch one and somebody can do something really cool with the camera, or they've got really good timing. And I actually think it's a good window into what the majority of the country is dealing with, going through. I don't know why this isn't. Maybe this speaks to my fan base, but because I follow back everyone and I try to do it. It's just there's thousands at a time. I have a lot of lesbian relationship advice in my feed. It's all like sort of like hot, like 23-year-old, like boyish lesbians, like doing like mating rituals and talking about lesbian breakups. And like, I am very well versed on like all things like young, hot, like tomboy lesbian now. It's weird that it's in my feed, but it's fine. A lot of stuff about Black Lives Matter. So you kind of get to take the tone of the country. I enjoy the scroll of it. I like seeing people do fun things. There are some really bad TikToks. And the social media company I work with, they were like, this is a way in a quarantine, and I probably wouldn't have done TikTok otherwise. It's a great way to expose people to my comedy, engage with people, and keep producing content that isn't necessarily stand-up. We're all looking for ways to express ourselves. Otherwise, I love editing, and I enjoy the challenge of editing, because that's what makes you laugh on a TikTok is the editing. Mm-hmm. Rarely is it just the straight content. And I appreciate the art of that. But for the most part, it is for deeply stupid people. Yes. And it actually is part of my my top of the cob, my bottom of the cob. You'll see.
Derek Post asks, what is the craziest thing anyone has asked you to sign? Now, have you signed anything strange?
Strange? No. I mean, my bandwidth for what's weird is ever stretching. And what's acceptable, and the like love that I have with my fans, you know? So I don't love it when women are like, will you sign my boob? I'm like, this doesn't do it. Sure. I think this is a little trashy, but I'll do it for you but I'm not getting off on this. It's not so much what I've signed, but I always am taken aback when people get my signature as a tattoo. Yeah. When they get my signature as a tattoo and yet they're not like an Uber fan that engages with me every day. I'm like, so you're just someone that came out of a holler, got my name tattooed, and you're like, I'll see you next year in Tulsa.
That is really interesting. You're right. Because you know what? I would probably be more likely to get the tattoo than to harass someone via the internet.
I also will say.
So, you're going to sneeze?
And I said this on Don't Panic Pantry, but this might reach a wider audience. You know, years ago, we were like, great, if you send me a picture or something you want me to sign in a self-addressed and stamped envelope, I will send it back. I'll sign it and send it back. And people send very nice, glossy 8x10s, full color pictures. If you ever send me a picture, like there's one in my underwear, that, in my defense, I posted on Instagram years ago before we kind of knew that Instagram was forever. Like the knowledge you have about the internet now is not the knowledge you had about it a couple of years ago. It just isn't.
Yeah.
And so it's so easy to like slut shame girls. And it's like, I posted it as a joke, not realizing I could never take it down. So you don't realize that. But when you send me that, I throw it away. I have the right, you have the right to send me whatever you want. And I have the right to throw away and not sign something that I think is too sexual because it wasn't meant for you. That's all.
I mean, I don't like when, and I see it all the time with like somebody, I don't know if you've gotten this coming out of like, talk shows, but I'll see people just hold up to a celebrity, like their Maxim picture for them to sign. It's like really right in their face. You're going to be like, here's you, nips out, sign it
here's
for
the thing.
me. My name's Bob.
A Maxim picture, it's like, look, you did a magazine shoot. And I also think there's something to be said for times in our lives when you want more sexual attention than others. And
fair.
TikTok's a great example. Like if I were like 25, 30, even if I were single now, you put yourself out there because, and I actually don't think, you can disagree with this, but you're wrong. You put yourself out there, you want to show your body, and that's great. You should be proud of it, whatever it looks like. And there is a degree of posturing and presenting you do to attract a mate, whether it's a guy or a girl, to attract a mate. Once you have that mate, like I'm married now, of course I still want to be attractive and I work out and I take care of myself, but I don't find it as satisfying to put myself out there in the same way. And my husband's never said anything about it. It's just that energy that I would have spent trying to get someone to look at me, I now focus on other things because I'm married. And you want to post naked pictures all day. If that's what you need to do to feel good about yourself, fine. But there is a shift. And the internet doesn't allow for women to ever be like, that was what I did then and I don't do it now. You put it out there, so we are responsible for what we put out there, unless it was stolen from us, which is a thing, like in a leak, or you were hacked or someone took it from you. But you take pictures, you put it out there, fine. I'm responsible for what I put out there. I cannot help who consumes it. However, I do not have to re-engage with it. If I pose for Playboy, that's something that I did, but I also don't have to sign your picture. Like, I don't owe you anything beyond the image I created.
Right. It is. There are a couple of your Instagram photos that people have printed out high res more than once. And it's like, I mean, yeah, you posted it publicly. It's kind of a weird choice to have signed in your room forever.
And also, I think a lot of people lie. They'll be like, hey, me and my whatever fans, or me and my brother. And I'm like, it's just you. I know it's just you. And I know it's just you because you're not asking me to personalize it, but that's fine. Like, I've got one picture of me and I'm like reaching up to a door and you can see my butt. It was actually my hair looks a little thirsty, but it was actually a beautifully lit picture and I'm proud of my body, but I probably wouldn't take the picture again. And so that's it. Once you create art or an image, you are not in control of how it's received, but you can be in control of how you receive it back.
What's equally crazy to me is the people who will mail in a photo with a self-addressed return envelope, and the photo looks like it was printed on a potato, and it's like folded, and it's horrible res, and like half your head is cut off. And I'm like, you stood in line at the post office for this?
They just printed it on like a sad inkjet printer. But you send us a picture that isn't overtly sexual, or maybe it is, and I'll sign it. But we'll always, if you send a self-addressed envelope, it might take a while, but we will always send it back to you.
Yeah.
As long as it gets here.
And I just told the chat, but I'll tell anyone listening, if you DM at Ask Iliza, I will find you and I will give you the fan address. So, okay. Ashley Smiley has a random question. What's your take on MLMs? Like them or hate them? Now, I don't think this plagues you. Do you know what an MLM is?
Yes.
It's multi-level marketing. Oh. It's like Unique and Rodan and Fields.
Oh, look, here's my take on that. They've been around forever, so clearly they still work, right? I mean, clearly somebody is buying into this. Otherwise, it would go away. Yeah. It would go the way of the dodo. I don't get pumped for those types of things, whether it's like a passion party or that, like a Rodan and Fields or Avon or Mary Kay. But I do believe, I mean, it sucks that you have to buy it, but that's how they make their money. You have to buy it in order to sell it. But I do believe in I believe in empowerment. I do believe in being industrious, and I believe in a hustle. And if you're that girl and you want to go out there and you want to sell Rodan and Fields and create parties and build a team, and that's a way for you to make money, more power to you. I'm not going to buy it, but I can respect your work ethic.
Make sure you research it, because you will find a lot of them, 99% of people lose money. If you have to pay to get a job, it's probably not a job you want, and you would be making more just working at Subway than you would selling this. Yeah, because
you have to buy the initial. I went to one of those knife seminars where like
Cutco,
and they meet, and like, so it was, oh my God, it was like going into my freshman year of college or my sophomore year, and you go in and there's this really compelling girl that's like giving the seminar, and she pulls you in after. She's like, we think you have something special. I'm like, oh, I totally have something special. And I went home and I told my mom, I'm like, there are these amazing knives. My mom's like, we're not buying these knives. But I fell for it because I was like, oh my God, somebody believes in me and I could do anything or sell anything. There was some show, I think it was Indiana. I was like doing crowd work, and this girl, I was like, what are you doing? She was like, Scentsy. And everyone in the crowd knew what it was. And I guess it's like MLM for candles, like burn your own wax. It's like
wax melts.
Yes.
Yeah. And then there's Young Living, which is
sounds Christian.
Essential oils.
It sounds very Christian.
I know. They're all like.
But also the Scentsy one, I was like, so is it just a town that always smells like pumpkin pie? Like at a certain point, you're like, I don't need any more wax. But I don't begrudge anybody. Look, it's my right to buy it or not. But as long as you're not hurting anyone, like, and you can make money at that, that's great. Because people need ways to make money and not everybody belongs at a normal corporate job. And if you can do that hustle, I really respect it.
Do your research.
Do your research.
David Monjardo said, I got the scissors that can cut a penny. I'm interested in that.
Here's my question. What do you need kitchen scissors for that are that sharp? Who are you killing?
Bones.
Yeah, what are you breaking down, creepo? That's the other thing. They sell you. They're like, and this pan, you could put it in hell and it doesn't melt. Like, we don't need to live in these extremes. You don't need scissors that can cut a penny. If you do, you should have a woodworking shop. It shouldn't just be like, I got the one tool and I'm in there cutting pennies. Nobody needs something that withstands like 9,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Like, you don't need it. But as Americans, we're like, oh, extreme, extra bacon, Baconator, double cheese, can withstand inside of a seal's butthole in negative 50 degrees, Arctic freeze, Arctic blast. Shovel it down. We're a nation of extremes, which is why we're constantly at war with each other.
Yeah. Okay. Sabrina says, I want to get a theme tattoo from one of your specials. What do you suggest I get?
Can't.
I think an apple.
Apple?
But I want your opinion.
I don't know. I don't have any tattoos. It's a very personal thing. I have jokes and hashtags that I like. I think it has to do more with like what speaks to you. Like, what does apple mean to you, actually? Apple? Like, if you're not a pharmacist, which is what that joke was about, you know, like maybe a gazelle, because that's about feminism, or any of my other jokes are all about that. I think it should be, you know, or it could just like spark joy. But I recuse myself from the tattoo deciding committee because I vote a party goblin in full black and white and gray all down your back. It'll take about 50 hours.
How do you feel about if someone else got a tattoo of Tianfu, how would you feel about it? If someone got a tattoo of Gracie, I'd be so angry.
Oh, really? I get pets to share them. I love.
No.
Okay, well, you asked me. And Blanche more than Tianfu, but like I have these animals to share what's so great about them and to create a world around them. And it's Tianfu, but it's like the legend around her and all the songs and the way that people feel when they sing the Snow Peach song or engage with her. And I do this on my own, but I think it's more about what she represents, and that's safety and feeling good. Blanche was like a little queen. So it's whatever it means to you. I'm not a person that would ever get a tattoo, but if it makes you feel good and it means something to you, then that's you. Then that's that. And you could get it in like a comic book font. It just says Tina Chinny. Tino Chino. Chinny. She's hiding in the bookshelf. The Chino.
Allie said, fan theory, Cashew Albacore lives in the dark corners of Reddit. Which,
Dingle dangle.
if he knew how to use a computer, I think that would be good.
I always use computers every time I make my lunch. I don't know. It's the best panini press.
I feel like Cashew is so deep inside you, and it's very troubling.
It's troubling because it's a show, like citing yourself is so lame. Like, remember this beloved character from one season of my show? So, but look, just like most of my comedy, I'm doing it anyway. So, pop up.
Amber S wants to know, are you going to watch Hamilton? It's dropping on Disney
I
Plus,
know
and
it
people
is.
are
I would
amped.
like to see it. I've never seen it. I've never been able to see it because whenever it's on, I'm usually working. But I'm going to watch it. It's a cultural touchstone at this point. Not only it's the perfect melding of worlds because it's all black people, right?
No.
Is it not?
But a lot.
Okay.
I think there's a couple white bad guys. Like, there's a king.
Well, that's fair. It's minorities in roles traditionally played by white people and playing white people, and it's our country's. It's about the Declaration of Independence. What's it about? Just Alexander Hamilton, but it's about essentially like the birthing of this nation and the conception of this nation, which is great for 4th of July. So it's two things that we're thinking about now.
Okay. Terry Ann wants to know, is Tianfu afraid of fireworks? We're having issues with fireworks here. I'm hearing them every night. I went and glared at my neighbors who were setting them off right outside, and I was just like, why?
Well,
Why
what they're
you do
doing is
this?
illegal, FYI. I don't think it registers to her or something. I think if she saw a real one up close, but we hear them in the distance. They're still loud, but I don't think it, thank God, because she barks at everything, and I have not been able to sleep in past like 7 a.m. since I got her. You're sleep, all of a sudden you just hear like, ah! You're like, what is it? And it's like, oh, Noah came back into the room. Thanks for that piercing awakening.
Milana Owe says, hi, Eliza and Emily. I adore the pod. Think you're both clever and insightful.
Well.
Eliza, thanks for coming to Portland, Maine last year. Made my summer. That show was fire. Myriad ways as the theater was a furnace.
It was hot. Yeah.
You are both.
Oh, God.
You are both adventurous people in your own ways, so maybe you can offer some words of courage.
You, Emily?
I'm researching. Me and you.
No.
I am researching going to the UK to get my master's or a second degree. Here's the thing. I'm terrified to leave my family, most of whom live here on the East Coast. Apart from all the logistical difficulties and a few actual success stories of Americans moving to the UK, my parents are also older, and I have a cat whom I love very much. The fear of leaving them is crippling, but I feel like crossing the Atlantic and at least trying to create this life for myself is vital to my own happiness. Help
First
me.
of all, you can shelve that dream because no one's allowed to leave for the foreseeable future. Like, no one's immigrating anywhere. Like, it's going to be a battle for me to even get to go to New Jersey. So you don't have to think about it now. I'm pretty sure your parents want you to go. They want their kids to be happy and live out their dreams. Put the cat with the parents. You are literally 5 to 6 hours away. It is not that big of a deal. And there will always be another quote unquote cat, another quote unquote parent. There will always be a reason to not go. And I appreciate that you love your cat. If this is something that you want to get now and you're able to do it, you're going to feel really bad in 20 years if you're like, I never went because of the cat who is dead now. So I'm just saying, you want some real talk, make those dreams come true. How old is the cat? Maybe the cat's got a lot to live. Maybe it'll be nice. I think it's a nice feeling to know that the cat is with the parents. Side note, when I went on tour for Last Comic Standing, I left my beloved Catsby with my dad. Catsby got AIDS and a vascular tumor in his throat, and he passed away. But I don't think it was my dad's fault. I don't know.
Well, Ben Mitchell's wife.
But the point is, I never think about Catsby anymore. It was a long time ago.
Ben Mitchell and his wife want to see Tianfu. Where is she?
Right. I'm not into doing things on command, but I'll do it. You have to entertain these people.
I just feel like we got like 15
Tell them
more
about
minutes.
how
They wanna
adventurous you
see
are.
it. About my
tell
adventures.
them how not reluctant you are to leave the house.
I don't like leaving the house, but I moved here. I moved to LA. I can't show you great. Here's the thing. I have my laptop on a prop thing with my mic, with my phone. I can't move, and Gracie's laying on the floor, so no one can see her. I can't do anything. But Tianfu, you can just go scoop it. There we go.
She says, I'm sleeping. I'm Tino Chino. Look at her. She's like a little pig baby.
Oh, boy.
You did.
A pig baby.
She's pig baby, and she's got pig baby body. Look, and they spilled coffee on her at the factory where they made her, and they dipped her ears in coffee, and she's Chinese.
Pig
You
baby.
did move here. I will give you that.
I moved here all on my own.
Me too. So it's not true. Somebody drove out here with me. Oh.
I mean, yeah, my dad drove here with me.
Body supreme. She's very floppy.
Yeah.
This is her in her passive state, which is always. And she doesn't want to look at the computer. She knows it's there. She says, I'm John Fu. They call me Tino Chino. Did you see my TikTok where the Australian girl that has the 2 blue nose pit bulls? And she's like, now, oh, that's right, Emily, you helped me film it. She goes, and then his heart-shaped love head, then we lay him on the bed for more lovings. I love a snack time. Then we hand feed him fruit, special for me too. This dog is half asleep. She says, I'm Tino Chino. I'm Tino Chino. Look at these beautiful teeth also. People are listening to this at home and they're like, cool.
This is a nightmare.
Well, feel free to go follow her at She's a Snow Peach, and you can see this body. This is why you need to join the Looped Live so you can get in on this hot coffee spilled dog action.
I mean, this is basically just your Instagram.
This is why we're in the top 5.
Don't drop her.
Don't tell me what to do. This dog has it so easy. So what? She's got to work for 5 minutes.
Okay. Megan asks, Iliza, would you ever do a reality competition series like Dancing with the Stars or Family Feud?
Well, that's 2 different things. One is a 1 episode commitment and one is months of training.
Would you do Dancing with the Stars?
Not at this time. Never say never. You know, I'm not going to be like, no, fuck that show. And then like something,
Right.
you know, and I'm on record. You know, you kind of never say never to stuff. And I do believe that Dancing with the Stars is something that like people tend to do. They've had a career, like some athletes do it, or like, you know, they're kind of in like a different status and they're like, oh, this will be a good thing. I don't need to do it at this time. I would like the challenge. I think I'd be very good at the dancing, but I don't know.
People are always like popping things out of sockets, though. I feel like half the competitors just are in the hospital.
At 37, I don't need to sustain a dance injury if I'm not making real network TV money. Like it'd be one thing if it was for like a pilot or like a sitcom. The competition things, I would do a Family Feud. I was going to do $100,000 pyramid and then COVID happened. But I've done like To Tell the Truth and Hollywood Game Night. Like those are fun. They pay you. It's so little work. It's fun to do. And if you can play for charity, even better. That's what I love about Hollywood Game Night is that you're making that money for someone, for a civilian. But I've done a lot of those. Oh, yeah. The key for most celebrities is does it take up much time? No, I'll be there. Screw it. Best case scenario, everyone sees it and you get more famous. Worst case scenario, you get paid a bunch of money. Nobody sees it. That's how we think about most things.
Okay. Valerie Nakarati wants to know, what is it?
You know what I wouldn't do? Because even though everything's made of foam, it looks hard. The Floor is Lava on Netflix.
I haven't watched that.
It is enjoyable. And people eat shit on that show.
I heard that they tape it in the old Burbank IKEA building that now is just empty.
Legend.
So I could go over there.
Legend has it in an old big box retailer. That's where the floor is lava.
Valerie Nakarati asks, what is a cringy thing you did as an adolescent? Do any come to mind? I've blocked mine out. Mine are more recent.
Oh, as an adolescent? I mean, I definitely think
it's like teen.
No, I know what adolescent means. I mean, you're always like trying to like be cooler than you are. Oh God, what was it? I could tell you, here's something, and I don't know if I talk about this in stand-up. This isn't so much a teenager as much as in my 20s. And I think a lot of girls can relate to this. Giving a guy a lap dance. Like in your 20s, like you come home just sloshed and you're like, sit there, watch this. And he's like sitting on like a bench in my kitchen and I've never been a stripper. And you're just like emulating the moves you see in like rap videos or whatever. This guy's hammer, you're just ripped. And he's just sitting there and he's like, ugh. And like the dude's just happy that you're there and you're like, watch that. Serious. And you always do like a chair and a thing. Just like how seriously you take yourself sexually when you're drunk, I think is, I'm bold enough to admit it. Like I've done that. Emily, I can't imagine it's something you would do. I don't think you are trashy like that.
I don't believe in dance.
Okay, don't say it like that. You sound like a druid. I don't believe in dance. We don't dance, mother. But that I think it's funny like how seriously you take yourself when you're feeling sexy and you're drunk. Like, you don't think I can do it for you? Like a little accusatory. I've definitely had some bad sexual encounters makes it sound like something bad happened, but like where I've been bad in bed, which I know is like stand-up comedy 101, like, I'm so bad in bed. But I can definitely have some moments where I look back and I'm like, oh, I need a do-over. That was so like, who do I think I wasn't? Watch this. You want this? You can't have this. Taking yourself too seriously sexually is hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe that.
Well,
little TMI.
Okay. That's adolescence.
Everything's cringeworthy in your adolescence. Everything's you like trying to like look like you're not trying, but you're trying so hard. Except for one girl who's like naturally hot that like doesn't have to try. The rest of us had to try really hard. And I'm not going to share anything else. Okay.
I think you're good. Louis Montez says, do you plan on doing drive-in shows if things continue to stay locked down? We've added one. A lot of people in the chat have tickets.
I'm so
for
excited.
it, and we're talking about it.
Yeah, I really am excited for that experience. I'm excited to get back out there and try out some jokes and do the act that I was working on. And, if it makes fiscal sense to do, you're not losing money on it. I'm happy to try anything live. I tend to shy away from the online stand-up just because, if this comes back, if you're able to do it, and, we already rescheduled a bunch of Canadian shows for 2021. What? I didn't say. Whatever. By the way, I don't have your money. Everyone's like, they won't give us a refund. I said to every venue, cancel the show, give them a refund. And it's the venue doing it. Don't at me. My point is, any way to get to perform, I need it.
Okay.
I need it.
Are you going to any drive-thrus just personally? I keep seeing people
Drive-thrus?
now at them, and I don't like that drive-ins. I don't like that movie experience. I'm not into it for a movie.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been to a drive-in? Okay.
I saw Zoltar, Don't Mess with the Zohan.
You're like, I go every week and I fucking hate it. Zoltar, isn't Zoltar the fortune teller thing from Big?
Yeah.
I'm interested to see. I could do it and absolutely hate it,
Yeah.
but somebody told me that when people laugh, like they honk their horns. I think, getting a little bit of a badge of honor as a comic is getting to tell other comics about the weird places you've done stand up. I did a show in like somewhere in Afghanistan on a base, like outside at like noon in the fucking heat. Like I've done it on aircraft carriers. I've, all these different locations that just make you stronger and more well-rounded as a comic. And then you have tales from Hollywood. So I'm going to give it a try. And barring out me hating it, I'll probably do it again. I like to perform for people. Especially if it's a drunk lap dance. Strap in and strap on. Here I come.
All right, it's time for...
Tap with a curb, doing it right. Wearing a mask. Please wear a mask. Wear a mask. Okay. My top of the cob. You know what? We'll start with bottoms and we'll end on a high note. Okay? Start with power bottom.
Okay.
My power bottom of the cob. I've noticed this trend on TikTok as I mindlessly scroll to recapture just shards of youth. I saw this TikTok of this girl, and I don't remember the song, but her boyfriend comes out and he's got a great body and he's shirtless. And it was like, I think it was like one of those like, nope, yup, like one of those. So he comes out shirtless and it was like, when your man, stop saying when your man, this isn't a 90s R&B song. It's your boyfriend. It's your man. He's like, when your man is trying to go out to go get the mail or something like that, to walk to the corner store with his shirt off. And it's like, nope. And the boyfriend's like, oh, like the girlfriend won't let him go with his shirt off. And I thought, oh, because it's trashy to walk with your shirt off. But she meant because she doesn't want other females, which is gross, like looking at him or him flirting with them. So then he comes out in like tight sweatpants and she's like, nope. And then he comes out in normal outfit. She's like, yup. And I think it's this thing that permeates our culture for younger women, the idea that you have to protect your man. Like if another girl wants to talk to you, I'll fucking fight her. And it's like, no, who you should be mad at is your boyfriend. In fact, who you should be mad at is yourself for staying with this person who's disrespecting you. But this female on female thing, like you shouldn't dress sexy so other girls don't talk to you. And it's like, if that's what he's going to do, you shouldn't be with him. And we allow ourselves to be pit against each other. Like, let me see your phone. I'm going to call that girl and yell at her. No, get mad at him. Chances are, if the girl knows she's a piece of shit and fuck her, and if she doesn't know, then why are you mad at her? You should be mad at him. Be mad at the person cheating. It's a lot of videos like about like how I'm like protecting my man. And it's like, you shouldn't have to. He should be like honored to be with you unless you suck. So that bothers me. Don't fight for him. Don't fight for your boyfriend. Let him go. Fight for your relationship in the context of you're working together. Your boyfriend's been deployed. You're fighting to keep that. Not fighting him to keep him when he's like clearly wants to talk to other girls. Let him go. That's a horrible existence. Young women, other women, any woman.
My
You
bottom
want to talk to the
cup
girls?
is
Get
that-
gone then. I got things to eat. Kick it.
My bottom of the cup is that I bought
What is
this
that?
action
What is that?
figure, and I needed to replace the hand with a different hand, and I hurt myself putting the new hand on. I bent my finger weird trying to get the new hand in its hand socket.
Where'd you get that other hand?
It came with
2 hands.
It came with bonus. It came with a hand that could hold a gun and a hand that couldn't. And I replaced the hand that couldn't hold a gun with this hand that can hold a gun. And I bent my little thing back.
Can you show me the hand that's not holding a gun?
The hand that's not holding a gun is very, oh no, it's
I
very,
don't. Okay. Oh, I thought it was
see
on
how
her. There's just a
crinkly it
hand in
is?
the Terminator box. Okay, well, the other hand looks weird.
Yeah, so I replaced it with this gun hand. I didn't put this hand was already on. I replaced this hand.
Great job. I can see why you can't come into work. My top of the cob is this is so sad. And this is like how every girl eventually takes up like knitting, baking, jewelry making. I've taken up like chintzy jewelry making a couple times in my life. I've taken up friendship bracelet making a couple times. It's a good cathartic thing. It sucks because you're facing down like you would with the phone, but sometimes I need something that isn't work related. Ordered a bunch of beads and I've started making bracelets for everyone. I've made you one. And these are not like expensive things, but they're very like summer campy. And my top of the cob is that I made this one and I like the way the beads are placed and I like the colors. And I'm going to tell you. Every Sunday for like most of my adult life or my career, as I go to bed, I say to myself, get some sleep. It's going to be a big week. And so I made a bracelet that says big week.
That's
It's
cute.
in a hopeless frontier that is Corona. It's a great way to keep a little bit of hope alive that like something big's going to happen this week. And then if it doesn't, it doesn't matter because it's Friday and you're like, I don't care. I tried real hard. Get some sleep. It's going to be a big week. Now close your eyes and dream of being queen.
My top of the cob is that it's a 3-day weekend. Easy peasy.
Easy.
Nice.
Easy, peasy, beautiful.
Cover
Squirrel. Very good.
Cover scroll. All right.
We enjoy.
Gotta wrap
yeah,
it
we're gonna
up.
wrap it
You
up.
got places
We
to
enjoy
be.
doing these Ask Eliza Anything lives. We don't do a ton of them. We like them to be a special thing. Emily has enjoyed the chat room. She has prohibited me from entering it. But we love you guys for showing up. And I will see some of you lucky people on our Looped Live. The people at Looped even sent me a special phone because my phone was getting too hot. So we will see you guys in mere moments. Thanks for listening to Ask Eliza Anything. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. We'd love some fresh ears. And don't forget to submit your questions to the Ask Eliza Anything Instagram. We're here for you. And remember, wear a mask and be kind.
This Thanksgiving, Butterball wants you to really connect. Let's get back to laughing around the table, sharing stories, and making memories. Let's talk like we used to. We'll help with the turkey so you can enjoy being together. Visit Butterball.com for turkey tips.
It's time to have your high five moment with High Five Casino, the top social casino where the action and real prizes never stop. Fun spins and big wins are right at your fingertips with over 1,000 games, including High Five Casino exclusives. High Five Casino is always free to play with free coins given out every 4 hours. Sign up today for a free welcome offer that can get you spinning and winning right away. Visit highfivecasino.com.
High Five Casino.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. Must be 21 years or older. Terms and conditions apply.